Hey guys, Bobby back, and today, a little bit something different. We're going to be playing the Soviet Union in Making History the Second World War. Same 1936 scenario, but we're going to be playing the Soviets. Options, we're going to do hardest, Empire, fuck war on every 10 turns. Pretty standard. I'm going to try to stick mostly to what happened during the regular timeline, but obviously, things may spin out of control like they typically do in this game. I'll take some pauses while I set things up here and there. Stuff that's not very fun to watch as the gameplay goes through. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are finding this on a good day. If it's the weekend or whatever day I release this on, I'm not really sure when you'll be seeing this, but it's a good day. Good day where I am. We're going to be playing the Soviet Union today. Let's look at that red. Massive red. Biggest country in the game. Kind of win by default if we're talking about like land mass size, but no, we got this guy to worry about over here. So I will have you give me a moment, and then I will show you my setup for the Soviet Union in this game. A lot of things to toggle, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That took me a little bit, but I got everything set up for the Soviet Union here. So let me show you. So basically for the factories, light bombers, fighters, got some heavy howitzers and anti-air guns coming in there. I do arms as always, fuel, shipping capacity for a couple. I'm going to do mostly standard battleships here. I have a lot of dockyards kind of being built in the process, so we're going to build that fleet up. Steel, I usually do at least 4, sometimes 5 rail capacity. It just depends on what your starting country starts with steel. If it's around this, I like to have at least 100 plus being made if I can. And then we have 2 tanks and road capacity. Got all the troops. They're going to head to Azov as the rendezvous point. These are the barracks that need to be built up, but we're not worried about that right now because we're building a lot of factories because I don't know if you know something. These guys have bad plans for basically this whole entire region, and we're gonna have to stop them just like in real life. Thankfully, we're the player characters, so we have the benefit of hindsight. Yeah, we don't really trade much. I just buy a bunch of arms. The communists in this game, the socialists, don't really have a lot of representation. There's just a couple of us, so. I always make sure Communist China has my support. I always try to help them out later on during the war. We'll kind of see what goes on. So, actually, that might be a fun little game to do. So that is what I'm gonna do. Problem is though, I might not do that because that means I'm gonna get involved with China fast if I do that. The only other option is, and I've done this in the past before, where I will be the Soviets and give troops to the Chinese communists, but the problem is the AI sucks and they don't know what to do with it. So unless you were to play as them with those extra troops, which yeah, you're more than fine to do in a role-playing game, but it's not really worth it if you're trying to do a legit playthrough as Communist China. Not that it really, it's all in good fun at the end of the day as long as you're having fun. But I will say I hope in the new engine you can be maybe this, how high you can be and see the flags. I want to be able to see the troops too, because otherwise it's a little annoying. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this. So we are gonna do this first turn and kind of see what happens. We're gonna spread the socialist message throughout Europe. I'm stupid and forgot to research something. That's really funny. Spent all that time. Not really necessary. Sure, synthetic fuel. That might come in handy. One thing I could do, because sometimes the Chinese will actually overrun the communists, is something you can do is you could take over the Mach-Leak and give it to them, just to kind of for sure make sure they have some territory, which, it's not the end of the world, man, but it's just one of those things. The Xinjiang clique, Xinjiang, Xinjiang. I don't know how to pronounce it. I guess it could be like Xinjiang, Xinjiang, Xinjiang. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert on the Chinese areas. Yinan, Shenzi. I thought it was Shangzi. One of these is Shangzi. One of these days I'll learn some languages other than English. I can barely speak that as it is. Oh look, here's this. The Aral Sea. Still existed at this point. Let's keep moving it. The problem is, especially if you're not playing as Germany, because Germany is like the predominant force in the game, like starting the war. Obviously, if you're Germany and you don't start the war, Italy will kind of start their own thing, especially if they attack. Especially if you've like already attacked somebody in this area, Italy tends to attack Greece, and eventually Britain gets involved with Greece because it's coded to get involved with Greece because Italy invaded them after the war started up here. But if that hasn't happened yet, it's not gonna, it's not gonna play out exactly as it would in real life. And the thing with the Soviets is obviously they have the Winter War and they have the occupation of these guys and obviously Poland when that comes about. But you have kind of like 5 years as the Soviets to kind of prepare yourself. Unless you want to get involved in like Turkey and stuff, which you can. It's just why risk it, you know? I do hope in a sequel game, especially if they end up doing something with like the Cold War, if they could have, or even like a modern day version, if they could have some kind of ability to help influence like smaller countries. Because one of my favorite things to do is play as like communist China. I actually uploaded a series of that on the channel a long time ago. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Odds are though, if you're watching this video, you've probably seen that. So, we'll go from there. Especially with this series, I kind of have an idea. There's another game that I play called Easy Red 2. It's a kind of realistic World War II shooter made by one guy under Corvo Studios. It's pretty freaking cool. Really cool game. I'm going to actually probably upload some content, some videos of it up for you guys at some point. I've been playing it off and on for the past like year and a half or so, and it's a lot of fun. It gives me very much like Battlefield 1942 vibes. It's definitely something I would recommend to anybody to check out who likes FPS games, history games, World War II games of any kind. So I'll definitely have to introduce you guys to that at some point. Looks like the French are not going to confront Germany, obviously. Coup in Greece, Spanish instability. All my air bases are created, so that's good. Okay, give me a second and I'm going to figure out what's next for this. Okay. I just thought of this while I was doing this because there are so many regions in Russia and the Soviet Union as a whole. This is a pain. There needs to be some kind of feature where, I don't know if you do it as it's like, oh, this is like your minister of infrastructure or construction, or it's like a slider, it's this or that, but I should be able to select something that's like, hey, have my regions build infrastructure projects, and you select which ones you want them to do. If I only selected trench works, it'll build trench work 1 until 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. I think it should do that. Obviously, like maybe if there's not enough money for it or something, then it would like prevent it from doing that. There could be a whole little not mini game, but like little angle to that, like with sliders. I don't know. I think there's just something you could do with that, and that's my suggestion. I was thinking about that while I was doing that here. And the problem is, it's going to take 1 turn for most of these to be done. But something that I was also thinking about while I'm sitting here, and it's kind of the funny thing about playing the Soviet Union in a World War II strategy game is, Germany's going to invade you. So why would you kind of like leave yourself open to that situation? Kind of, Like, why would you let it get to that point? So, yeah. The more that I think about it, it's not going to get to the point where we're like actually fighting on the front just like they did in real life, because it was more of a, predominantly a surprise attack at that point in time when that happened. So, it's not going to have the same effect in this game because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be able to prepare. Like, odds are I'm going to have more troops than the Germans have. So, but the inverse is true when you invade as Germany in this game because you have way more troops than the Soviets do usually. So you end up with the issue of kind of over, just dominating them. And the only reason you don't really take them over is if you run into like a death stack, or there's a couple different other things. But I'm just gonna build like some like trench works there and just kind of call it that. Which kind of gives me some inspiration. Like I probably should do some out of the box wacky things, shouldn't I? Just because I think it would make things interesting. So Communist China's doing okay over there. Where? Oh, okay. We're gonna move over there, and then we're gonna get one of these guys to go there and there. Yeah, I have an idea. Basically, and I'm going to gift the Communist Chinese some of these guys too, which it's not too far off from what actually happened in real life. Like there were a lot of volunteers, obviously a lot of troops that ended up helping, back and forth. One of the big reasons why in the Korean War the North was able to hold out and, managed to push back was all the Chinese troops and, some Soviet troops that were able to help them. So, very interesting times. And while I'm thinking about it, there's a really cool podcast about the Korean War, Blowback. Their season 3 goes over the Korean War, and I actually kind of want to listen to that again. So I may do that because season 5 is about to come out in a few days, and it's about the Cambodian, crisis and the bombing of Cambodia that we perpetrated in during the Vietnam War, if we want to call it that. So very turbulent times, if you will. So we're going to go through another turn. A lot of fun times. I will probably end up doing a Chinese gameplay at some point, probably, and then I'll probably also do I'll probably do a Japanese gameplay at some point too, because I have a very fond memory of doing a Japan playthrough back in the original Making History game, and I got all the way to like India, and I was like fighting in the trenches. Like I wasn't very good back in the day, so it was a lot for me to get to that point. Okay, so we're gonna invade the Ma clique, and we're basically gonna take it for the communists in China. This is gonna belong to the communists. Okay, let's do this actually. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. I'll leave it like that. I think that's perfect. I don't think we need more troops. This is the first war the Soviets are getting into in this game. That's fine. If you've watched my Communist China gameplay before, you know my strategy with that. It's pretty simple, actually. Basically take over all these like small puppets quickly, as fast as you can before China gets attacked by Japan in 37, because then it's a little too late. Problem is you gotta like build up a little bit before you can really like take them on succinctly, but it's one of those things. Yeah. Oh, did those go straight to China? That's funny. Ooh, Japan did not like that. That is fine. I don't really care. Oh, no. I did get to keep these. Okay. That's funny. Wasn't sure if it would let me or not. Sorry, I'm like honing in here. I'm really trying to like make sure I like... It's not that I can like mess it up, but like as you can see already, like look, they're already going to have like... The Republic of China is already attacking them as is. Yeah, I'll support the Republicans. Like, they're going to be fine. And, like, they still got a couple troops, but it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, man. We got to make sure, the Communist Alliance keeps it going across the world. I've tried in the past Not very hard. I don't really put too much effort in. I'm not really sure. You probably can if you like actually send stuff to the Spanish Republic. I bet even if I like were like send a death stack of troops, they could probably like help them. But I don't really bother to do that too much. It's just not really worth the time or the effort. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna send the cavalry here. There we go. Oh, come on. The Monoclique is really holding on. The Chinese Soviets are like super pissed right now. They're like, what the hell? How are you taking our land? This is super fucked up. What are you doing? It's like, don't worry. I'm gonna give it back. With a little surprise too. It's nothing. I was gonna say, I don't think anything's opened up. Well, yeah, but that doesn't really count. Okay. Thank you, finally. Cool, so that first war is over. Something pretty simple. What do you mean you support the enemy in the war? Hey. I was gonna say, okay. It's like, let's give him the 4 that's like absolutely his, and then we need to what, give him the Tibet stuff too. Should be these. Yeah, okay. And then from there, what we have to take these guys back. West Kansu and Alex. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't care, Mongolia, if that's something that you claim. It's not something I claim. I'm going to hold on to the Xinjiang clique just for right now because I don't think they really need that. But, yeah. So we're doing that. And then we're going to give them the Mongolian thing. Cool. So yeah, that makes the Chinese Soviets kind of sizable. And guess what? We're also just going to give them these troops. Just going to give it to them. One, I'm going to build enough troops, and that'll make it more interesting for... okay, that's fine. It'll make it more interesting for when the Germans actually do attack us, because it'll be a little bit less troops to have than what we started with. Not that it's going to make a difference. I build enough troops as is, but this is also kind of a nice little cheeky way to kind of help them in their civil war. So, look, they're up to 52% liking us now. And I'm going to give them 500 gold just because I want them to have some walking around money while they're at it. And we also got the Xinjiang clique, so, you know, they're big chillin' as is, which they could use a little bit of gold. Mongolia needs a little bit of gold too. I'm actually going to boost my... It doesn't really matter. Like, it does matter, obviously, but, like, you could... If you put an artillery or a troop in each zone, you're fine. And eventually, like, I'll have to, but... Damn, we already got a 40 stack. Thing is, do I want to piss off the British super fast? 12%. They already don't care for me too much, but hey. I'm only doing that so I get the bonus for that. I'll give them that. And then... Isn't it like if I do 5% for that, doesn't that give me a bonus for the British too? Yeah, it's 5%. It's not a lot, but at least it puts me in the good graces. And then what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to do what I need to do. Which is... I'm going to make a 20 stack. And I'm going to send these guys over here. Because guess what? We are going to do something that we did in real life that didn't work out super well. But hey, don't we love that? And actually, what we're going to do with the other 20 stack is we're going to go ahead and help the Chinese Soviets out. We're going to just go ahead and help them out. Because these guys are like, no. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about these guys. I feel like that's being a bit too gamey with it, I think. But I might help them with Tibet, actually, because that could help. That could help them substantially. I mean, that's 2 cities. I mean, this actually is 2 cities, too, so, like... It's tempting. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how many turns it takes to get there. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. There's very few countries in this game that you could really do like the historic route and it really be super interesting. The reason I'm turning them down right now is I just don't want to get involved against China. I don't want to get the allies on me too badly right now. I don't think that's really worth it. Now, if this was Hearts of Iron 4, the way that game works is a little bit different. You can kind of model being the Soviets to kind of like hold off as you will. Oof. That's not doing too well. Do they need anything? I was gonna say, like, I can help send you guys stuff, but you have to, I don't know, I have to know about it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'm probably gonna look forward to posting some content for Hearts of Iron 4 once another DLC comes out. That's supposed to be coming out later this year. There was one earlier in the year, obviously, back in March, but there's supposed to be another one. Supposedly it's gonna help. It's gonna rework the German main focus tree and some other stuff. Who knows? Maybe a Belgian focus tree, Austria focus tree. Who knows? I think in a dream world, Germany and Japan would get reworked for Hearts of Iron, but yeah, I think that's asking a lot because that focus tree is really out of date, and the German focus tree is really out of date. It's good, it's solid. It's out of date, and it's a lot of 70-day focus trees, and you could really split that up a lot and just improve it a lot better. But you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Well, we're making it 20 turns in. We're about to have a bunch of factories. Yeah, turn 21 is always fun because you get to like reset all your factories and see where you kind of stand. You also have to set all the new productions up. So, oh god, see, and it like throws your numbers off at first because it has obviously you have a bunch of the rot parts, the automobiles, all that stuff. So we're gonna do some light bombers. It's part of the reason why you want to build air bases everywhere you can, basically, so that you can kind of guarantee that you'll be able to like build your stuff where you need to. Air base, and then Tbilisi needs an air base. Okay, we're doing great, guys. We're doing fantastic. I had to burp there for a second, so if you heard that, I apologize. So we're going to do that. We'll build some more anti-air guns. More heavy howitzers. Get some big Berthas going here. Pretty sure you actually can as the Germans. You can build like the big ass like Gustav cannon looking cannon. It's like, is it worth building early submarines? It's like, is that something I want to do? Something I'm doing. I'm going to build 2 of them. Look at all that steel. That's impressive. All right, let's get some tanks in the... We're going to have so many tanks. That's a thing that you have to remember. Not only are we taking on the Germans, we're going to have a lot more targets. We're going to have these guys to take out. We're going to have these guys. We're going to have these guys. Like, you've got a message to spread. They're going to be a bit so. Okay. Move them there. Move them there. Okay. Invasion of Afghanistan is going to proceed. And see, another cool thing is you already have like these like pop-up newspaper like events that happen and stuff. It would be kind of cool if like you could like custom do your own little event. Like if I want to announce I'm doing like a special operation or something, I could be like, oh look, I'm doing the special military operation in Afghanistan. Sorry if it's too close to home for some people. But my point being is it'd be kind of cool if you could like do your own little custom events like that. And I don't know, I think it'd be interesting. Spice it up a little bit in the game. See, I don't like that, UK. What's going on there? What's going on there? We don't need to go to war yet. It's fine. I'm not going to threaten you. I'm not going to threaten you. I'm just going to liberate Afghanistan with socialism. And they're going to love it. Bang, bang. So, there we go. Turkey, I don't care. Romania, I really don't care. Alrighty. So, puppet state, socialist, Kabul. Yeah, that works for me. So, yeah. Now we got a little puppet socialist Afghanistan over here. We'll leave the troops there to kind of occupy them for right now. We'll get Tibet here in a minute. See, Iran's pushing it. Iran would push it. It would probably tip them over the scales and they would want to attack me. I don't want to get to that point quite yet. Turkey, they probably wouldn't care too much. The thing with Turkey, though, is at most you want to take just a couple bits. You don't want to take the whole thing because otherwise it just gets to be a whole fucking thing. So, I don't know. Okay. Had a slight technical issue there. But we are back, and I have had a change of heart. I am going to allow the Tibetan people to remain autonomous for the time being until Mao does what he needs to do. So, for now, these guys are going to move out and probably head back to the Turkish front to prepare for anything that happens there. For the time being, obviously, like the Baltics are going to be an area that we end up occupying. Finland has a whole storyline we'll have to deal with in a couple years. Romania might be a bit of a thing. Turkey might be a bit of a thing. It kind of just goes from there. We already just took out Afghanistan. We just kind of took out the Ma clique and helped out the Chinese. So, you know, there's a lot of places to go from here, but we'll let a couple turns go by. My main goal is not getting into a war with like the British or the Americans too early. One day eventually, yes, but ideally I would want to take out the Germans first. I want to build up like a solid base, you know. Let's do some more fighters. Where are we at? Mika, okay. So that's right. Yeah, unfortunately, I let a few turns go by and I did not build anything, but that is okay. So you're going to kind of see my methodology with this. I just kind of go back and forth between motorworks and aircraft hangars for a little bit, and then I'll throw in like an ironworks and then a distillery, then a metalwork. I just like try to like balance it out, you know, between everything. Obviously, if it's a dockyard, I add a dockyard. But other than that, I just do universities. And eventually, once you run out of those, you want to start building up the other buildings. It really depends. Especially as like a bigger country, you're going to want to need everything anyway. As a smaller country, you have to really plan more specifically. And I'll kind of show that off in one of these videos. I'll do like a smaller country and kind of show you my like methodology for that. Because that's the good thing about this game is it's so deep and wide. Like, you can play countries big and small. You can play small countries big and small. Like, You can kind of do anything in this game. It's fantastic in a lot of ways. Okay, it's like I need some more fighters. Yeah, we're just gonna leave Tibet alone. I get the feeling that might be one too much for the British. Like, they really probably don't want me on this border too. Like, they're probably already pissed that this happened. I bet taking on this might not be the end of the world. I wonder what the British's relationship with them is. They have a 20. Let's just recognize, though. I don't know. I think they'd probably be fine, but it's one of those things. What about the oil? It's going to say we need as much oil as possible for the time being. Yeah, the only thing, like, I think it would be cool if they had, like, some kind of general system. The only issue is there's just so many units, it would get very convoluted very easily. I think there probably should be some kind of, like, quick manage, quick assemble button for, like, all your units, at least on, like, certain fronts or zones. Like, you could, like, select, like, a number of zones, like, hit shift and select all these different areas. Like, this is front 1, front 2, front 3, you know, like, something like that, and you could assign units to, like, hey, rendezvous at this point. Kind of like how I have them all spawn at Azov. I don't know. Sure, we'll have it head to Kiev. But yeah, the Japanese are looking fierce. Got the Mijang over here doing their thing. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. I suck at pronouncing things. Probably shouldn't be in this region of the map anyway, but hey, one of these days I will get the pronunciation right. What are we going to do over here? Anything? Everything's prospecting fine. Okay, cool. Honestly, 30-something turns in the first episode isn't too bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Let me know if you guys want to see certain countries or certain scenarios. I could even roleplay a certain kind of thing. Like, oh, hey, don't do this specific, like, stipulation for this country. I don't know. I'm open to ideas, whatever you guys want to see. Be sure to let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.